If you're over 60, this is something you need to hear. There's a fruit you've probably eaten for decades, maybe even every day, that could be quietly raising your risk of stroke while you sleep. No symptoms, no warnings. One evening you feel fine, and by morning, your life can change in an instant. I've seen it happen too many times in my career as a brain doctor. It's not from smoking, greasy fast food, or anything you'd expect, but from fruit. Yes, the very food we've all been told is healthy can turn risky as the body ages. After 60, the way your kidneys, liver, blood vessels, and brain handle nutrients changes dramatically. Sugar, potassium, and acid are processed differently. Add in common medications, slower circulation, and dehydration while you sleep, and suddenly, even a harmless snack can become a silent danger. Today, I'll walk you through 6 popular fruits that can quietly increase stroke risk, especially when eaten at the wrong time or in the wrong way. You might be surprised to see what's on this list. Let's begin with one of the most familiar fruits, the banana. Soft, sweet, and trusted since childhood. A quick breakfast, a smoothie staple, and a snack you can eat on the go. But here's what many people over 60 don't realize. As bananas ripen, their starch turns into sugar. That's why an overripe banana tastes so sweet, but it also causes your blood sugar to spike faster. In younger bodies, a sugar spike isn't as big of an issue. But as we age, insulin sensitivity decreases, kidney function slows, and blood vessels stiffen. This means your body can't handle big swings in sugar or potassium as easily. Overripe bananas also pack a heavy potassium load. While potassium is vital, too much, especially alongside dehydration, can affect your heart, rhythm, and blood pressure. Take the example of Margaret, a 76-year-old retired teacher. She loved blending 2 overripe bananas into her morning smoothie. But one morning, she woke up dizzy, her speech slurred. At the hospital, doctors diagnosed her with a mild ischemic stroke. Her potassium was high, her blood sugar had spiked overnight, and dehydration made it worse. Margaret didn't have to give up bananas entirely. She switched to smaller, slightly green bananas, always eating them after drinking water and having some protein. Her energy improved, and her blood pressure stabilized. The lesson here, bananas aren't bad, but very ripe bananas, eaten in large amounts or on an empty stomach, can quietly push your body toward dangerous territory if you're over 60, and bananas are just the beginning. The next fruit looks completely innocent, tiny, bite-sized, and often served with salads or cheese boards, but it can deliver a sugar load that surprises your brain and heart. Let's talk about grapes. Grapes look harmless, right? Small, juicy, refreshing, the kind of snack you can pop into your mouth without thinking. They often feel like a healthy alternative to candy, especially for seniors trying to eat better. But for those over 60, grapes can quietly overload the body with sugar. Even seedless grapes, especially the super sweet varieties sold in stores today, are packed with glucose and fructose. Eat a handful, especially on an empty stomach, and that sugar enters your bloodstream almost instantly. Your body, which may already process sugar more slowly with age, struggles to keep up. Over time, this can cause tiny amounts of inflammation inside blood vessels. You won't feel it, but the body may respond by forming microscopic clots to repair the damage. These clots can build up risk over months or years. This was the case for Evelyn, a 79-year-old retired music teacher. Her mid-morning ritual was a big bowl of red grapes while reading. One day, she noticed her hand trembling while writing a card. Then she couldn't remember how to spell a simple word. At the ER, she was diagnosed with a transient ischemic attack, a mini-stroke. Her blood sugar had spiked that morning, and inflammation markers were elevated. Grapes weren't the only factor, but her habit of eating large portions without protein made her more vulnerable. If you love grapes, here's the safer way. Eat only a small handful. Pair them with a bit of cheese or a few almonds, and never eat them before bed. Your brain needs stable blood flow during sleep, not sugar spikes. Now, if grapes surprised you, the next fruit might shock you even more. It's tropical, sweet, and feels like a luxury. But for older adults, pineapple can quietly create the perfect storm for stroke risk. Pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme that in small amounts can aid digestion. But in larger amounts, or when combined with blood thinners, bromelain can interfere with your body's ability to clot blood properly. Add to that pineapple's high sugar content and strong acidity, and the risks multiply, especially if eaten at night. Sugar stresses your blood vessels, and acid reflux can silently lower oxygen levels while you sleep, affecting brain health. Clara, a 77-year-old retired choir director, thought she was making a healthy choice by swapping dessert for fresh pineapple after dinner. But one morning, she woke dizzy and couldn't walk straight. Tests revealed a small stroke. Her labs showed high sugar, altered clotting, and signs of nighttime reflux. To reduce risk, enjoy pineapple earlier in the day, in small portions, and avoid it entirely before bed, especially if you're on blood thinners or prone to acid reflux. Because as you'll see, even fruits that seem refreshing can have effects you'd never expect, like our next one, which most people think is hydrating, but can actually leave your brain dehydrated overnight. Watermelon, light, juicy, and made up of about 90% water. For many, it feels like the ultimate hydrating snack, but for older adults, watermelon can have the opposite effect, especially if eaten in the evening. Watermelon acts as a natural diuretic, meaning it makes you urinate more. This might sound harmless, but if you're already on water pills or blood pressure medications, it can tip you into dehydration. When dehydration happens overnight, you won't notice it, but your blood thickens, flows more slowly, and increases the chance of clot formation. Thick blood in narrow arteries is a recipe for stroke. Howard, an 82-year-old retired postal worker, had a nightly habit of eating several large slices of watermelon after dinner. One morning, he woke dizzy, and when he stood up, he collapsed. At the ER, tests showed dehydration and a small ischemic stroke. The advice here is simple. Enjoy watermelon earlier in the day, and if you're on diuretics, talk to your doctor about safe portions. Adding a pinch of salt or a sip of coconut water can help replace lost electrolytes. Now, let's talk about another fruit that seems wholesome, but can quietly interact with your medications. Oranges. Oranges, and especially orange juice, are known for their vitamin C, but they also contain natural compounds that can interfere with the enzymes your liver uses to process many common prescriptions. When this happens, medications can build up in your system or fail to work at all. This can turn a safe dosage into a dangerous one, without you realizing it. Mr. Albert Bryant, 79, loved his morning ritual, fresh squeezed orange juice with breakfast. Alongside his heart and cholesterol medications, over time, he began feeling lightheaded and confused. One morning, he collapsed while getting out of his recliner. At the hospital, his blood work revealed dangerously high medication levels. The citrus compounds in his juice had slowed his liver's ability to break them down, creating an overload. If you're on statins, calcium channel blockers, or blood thinners, be cautious with oranges and other citrus like grapefruit. Avoid taking them alongside your medication, and consider swapping orange juice for lemon water instead. It's not about eliminating fruit altogether. It's about knowing when and how to eat it so it works with your body, not against it. And if you think oranges are the end of the list, you'll want to hear about our final tropical contender. It's sweet, fragrant, and full of hidden sugar, and it can disrupt both your blood vessels and your liver's ability to process medicine. Mango, soft, fragrant, and naturally sweet. For many, it feels like the ultimate treat. But for those over 60, especially anyone taking heart or blood pressure medications, mango can have more risks than you might think. 1 cup of ripe mango contains nearly 45 grams of natural sugar, more than you'd get in a glazed donut. In an older body, that sugar can cause sudden spikes in blood glucose. A rapid sugar spike triggers inflammation in your arteries, including those leading to the brain. Over time, that inflammation can create small cracks in the vessel walls. The body's natural response is to form clots, and in narrowed arteries, those clots can block blood flow. But sugar isn't the only concern. Mango also contains a compound called matgiferin. While it sounds harmless, it can interfere with the way your liver processes certain medications. This means that drugs for cholesterol, blood pressure, or heart rhythm may not be cleared from your system as they should. Levels can quietly build up, increasing the risk of side effects, including dizziness, weakness, or sudden changes in heart rhythm. William, an 83-year-old retired firefighter, decided to swap afternoon cookies for dried mango slices. He was also on medication for atrial fibrillation and high blood pressure. Within weeks, he began waking up lightheaded. One morning, he collapsed, getting out of bed. His wife noticed his face drooping on one side, a classic stroke sign. At the hospital, scans showed a mild ischemic stroke. Blood tests revealed his medication levels were far higher than they should have been. The cause, his liver's processing had been slowed by the daily mango, allowing drugs to accumulate. If you enjoy mango, the safest approach is moderation. Eat only a few bites, earlier in the day, and never before bed. Pair it with protein or healthy fat, such as nuts or yogurt, to slow sugar absorption. Dried mango, in particular, should be treated like candy. It's concentrated in sugar and can spike blood glucose even faster than fresh fruit. Always check with your doctor if you're on any medication that your liver processes, especially those for heart, cholesterol, or blood pressure, before making mango a regular part of your diet. Now that we've gone through all 6 surprising fruits, you might be wondering, what does this mean for everyday life? The truth is, fruit is still healthy, but timing, portion size, and medication interactions matter more as we age. We've talked about 6 fruits that can raise stroke risk if eaten the wrong way: bananas, grapes, pineapple, watermelon, oranges, and mango. But that doesn't mean you need to avoid them completely. The key is knowing how and when to enjoy them. First, timing matters. Most fruits are safest earlier in the day, when your body is more active and able to burn off natural sugars. Late-night fruit, especially before bed, can cause blood sugar spikes or other changes while you sleep, a time when your brain needs stable blood flow. Second, portion control is critical. A handful of grapes isn't the same as eating 2 cups. 1 small banana is different from 2 overripe ones. Think of fruit as a nutrient boost, not a meal by itself. Third, always pair fruit with protein or healthy fat. This slows sugar absorption, keeps blood sugar steadier, and helps your body use the nutrients more efficiently. Examples: bananas with peanut butter, grapes with cheese, or mango with a small handful of nuts. If you take daily medications, be aware of potential interactions. Citrus fruits can change how your liver processes certain drugs. Mango can slow clearance of heart or cholesterol medications. Even something as simple as pineapple can affect clotting when paired with blood thinners. Another overlooked factor is hydration. Fruits like watermelon can act as natural diuretics. If you're already on water pills, balance them with electrolytes. Low hydration thickens the blood, making clot formation more likely. And don't forget acidity. Fruits such as pineapple or citrus can trigger silent acid reflux, especially at night. Even without heartburn, small amounts of acid entering the airway during sleep can lower oxygen levels and strain your brain. Stroke prevention is about reducing small daily risks before they add up. That means steady blood sugar, good hydration, healthy blood pressure, and avoiding any sudden shocks to your system. Pay attention to your body's signals. Morning dizziness, dry mouth, sudden confusion, or weakness should never be ignored. These can be early warning signs of a problem that's easier to treat if caught quickly. In my practice, I tell patients that awareness is their strongest form of prevention. You don't have to give up the foods you love, you just have to be strategic. Smaller portions, earlier in the day, and always balanced with protein and hydration. This approach doesn't just protect against stroke, it also supports heart health, stable energy, and clearer thinking. And the best part, it's simple to follow once you understand the why behind the changes. We've covered a lot today, so let's bring it all together. 6 fruits: bananas, grapes, pineapple, watermelon, oranges, and mango, can quietly raise stroke risk in seniors if eaten the wrong way or at the wrong time. The risks aren't about the fruit being bad, but about how aging changes the way our bodies handle sugar, potassium, acid, and medication interactions. What was safe at 30 can be risky at 70. Bananas, especially overripe, can spike blood sugar and overload potassium in the morning if you're dehydrated. Grapes can flood the bloodstream with sugar and stress blood vessels. Pineapple brings sugar, acidity, and bromelain, a risky trio for clotting and brain health. Watermelon, while refreshing, can act as a diuretic and lead to overnight dehydration, thickening the blood. Oranges and other citrus can interfere with liver enzymes, altering medication effects. Mango packs extreme sugar and a compound that can slow drug processing. So how do we enjoy fruit safely after 60? Follow this quick checklist. Eat fruit earlier in the day. Keep portions small. Pair with protein or healthy fat. Avoid fruit right before bed. Stay hydrated, especially if on diuretics. Check medication interactions with your doctor. And here's an extra tip: variety matters. Rotate your fruits and choose lower sugar options like berries, kiwi, or apples more often. They still provide vitamins and antioxidants without the extreme spikes. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Small, thoughtful changes in how and when you eat can make a huge difference in keeping your brain and heart healthy for years to come. If you've been feeling more tired, dizzy, or foggy lately, take a moment to consider your habits. Sometimes the quietest risks are the easiest to overlook and the easiest to fix once you spot them. Your health at this stage of life is about balance, not restriction. You've worked hard to get here. Now it's time to enjoy your days with confidence, knowing you're making choices that protect your future. If this video helped you rethink how you eat fruit, give it a like and share it with someone you care about. You might just help them avoid a serious health scare. And if you want more clear science-backed tips for protecting your brain and heart, hit that subscribe button for Senior Health Studio. We share practical advice you can trust, all designed to help you live longer, stronger, and sharper. Thank you for watching, and remember, your brain is your most valuable asset. Take care of it, and it will take care of you.